Well, several social media companies coming under scrutiny in recent days. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube all mentioned in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's indictment of 13 Russian citizens accused of meddling in the U.S. elections. Here to discuss, Kris Ruby, social media expert and president of the Ruby Media Group, along with Ali Stuckey, the conservative millennial blogger and CRTV.com host. Let me start with you, Kris. Riddled throughout the indictments, you see Instagram, you see Facebook, and we've seen these names before when it's come to these sort of incidents in America, and it always brings up the debate. How much are they responsible? What is their role in policing these networks, and what more can they do? Because certainly they're not doing everything they can do.
I think they're absolutely responsible. And so I think originally, they've come into so much tremendous power, right? No one ever thought that Facebook could influence the election, right? And so that's what we've seen. We've seen that it has. And so I think that Facebook, all of these companies really have to take a more proactive role, and it's just not happening.
So how do they do it? Because Facebook, I think, is floating an idea of somehow using postcards.
Yes, this is their.
How would that work?
This is their low-tech solution, right? It took this long to figure out that maybe we want to do postcards. So what they want to do is send out postcards for an ad buyer, right? And then they have to put in a little code into the computer, and that will show that they are in the U.S. But this is going to be so easy to hack and to really get around this. So I don't think this is really a long-term solution at all.
Ali, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're an active blogger. You understand the internet very well. It boggles the mind to think that people can buy $100,000 worth of ads and have any sort of significant impact on the election. I don't think they changed the outcome, but certainly that was their intent.
Of course, it's disconcerting to know that Russia at all tried to meddle in our election through social media. However, I want to disagree just a little bit. There's actually been no evidence whatsoever that they did successfully influence our election or successfully sway our election, and we don't actually know for sure that that was their intention. And so I just get a little bit hesitant in saying that the responsibility is on Facebook or Snapchat or YouTube to either be more heavily regulated or to pay any sort of fine or to be punished or to censor the honest Facebook users that are, for example, making a livelihood through their business, that they are advertising through Facebook. I actually think the onus is more on the users to be educated about what's real news, what's not, and not to put all of the responsibility on these social media outlets that already have so much power as it is.
Kris, do you disagree a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, of course I disagree, right? And we saw this with everything that happened with the whole fake news debate. And so the fake news, is that really on the users? No. And Facebook came out with an entire solution to that, which was them starting to monitor it and say, of course it's not just on the users. No way.
Well, ladies, I also want to ask you guys about this incident in Florida, because there were a lot of Instagram posts by the shooting suspect, Nicholas Cruz, and they were either missed or just simply not addressed, and of course, many people thinking that this tragedy could have been prevented. Kris, we've talked about the site with the FBI and local law enforcement, but again, you put something on YouTube as egregious and as threatening as what he put out there. Was there some responsibility on their part to sound the alarm?
Of course there was, and this is just so upsetting and really a terrible situation, right? Because if you look at everything combined, if you look at someone saying they want to be a school shooter on YouTube, if you combine that with their Instagram post, right, of everything that he showed, if you look at all the comments on his Instagram,
right.
And then, I mean, he had criminal intent. What happened? What went wrong that the ball was dropped?
Ali, what's your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think the ball was dropped both by the FBI and by the Florida agency that really refused to take any steps to stop this from happening. I mean, I think the correct things actually happened when he left that YouTube comment under the name Nicholas Cruz, saying that he was going to be a school shooter. The guy who made the video reported the comment to the FBI. When he created the self-harm Snapchat video, that was reported to a hotline of a Florida agency as well, and nothing happened. So I don't really think that the ball was dropped necessarily by social media or social media users. It seems like it was dropped by our intelligence agencies, unfortunately.
There's no doubt about that, and no one is disputing that. Quickly, Kris, since you're in the business, are there, in your mind, some easier solutions or ways to make it better?
Absolutely. And, what I really think needs to happen here is a better chain of command. And I think there needs to be an overall risk assessment, right? So I think that if something like this is reported and you see someone who is engaging in this behavior, do a thorough risk assessment. What is this person's...
You want the social media companies to do that as well as law enforcement?
I want, yeah, combined, work together and not in a silo.
All right. Thank you both, ladies. Very, very much appreciated.
Thank you.